Speaking about children from dysfunctional home, so how do we help children from dysfunctional home or semi-dysfunctional home? Maybe single parent or polygamous or no parent at all.
When you are raised by parents that are dysfunctional, they are not emotionally matured, they throw tantrums, they transfer aggression, they do things, they say things that wound your soul. The solution is get into therapy. Get into God. Get into therapy. I cannot root out the dimension of divinity when I talk about recovery. Truthfully. Until I met Christ, I didn't even know something was wrong with me. I was the black sheep in the family, bad girl, bad girl, bad girl. They didn't know that I had my struggles. When I met with Christ, of course, the light shone into my soul and I became a living soul. But it did not end there. I told you in one of the episodes I had anger issue. Things were happening to me that I could not explain until I discovered I had to deal with my baggages. I had to deal with the trauma of being sexually molested, the trauma of being expelled in school, the trauma of having to be rejected. And it was there I discovered that rejection can only affect my feelings, not my future. I discovered that rejection is not a wall, it's a door that leads to another door. I discovered that if the nurse that rejected the pregnancy of the mother of Jesus had known that she was carrying the Savior, probably she would have given her a 7-star treatment, put her in a presidential suite, and make her to be very comfortable in giving birth to her dream. So I was able to walk it through because of the fact that I know that beyond being born again, I still have to deal with issues. Then I checked myself into therapy. That was how I helped myself. I've shared my background and where I came from. I had to go into therapy. I'm accountable till tomorrow. I am accountable as I'm talking to you. I have an accountability person. I said to people, as an individual, you must have somebody you're accountable to. You don't, sometimes it's not every time everything is fine. Probably you lost money, maybe something happened to you. You must have somebody you're going to be vulnerable with to tell the person, I'm not feeling too good. This person is making me feel bad. It is not a sign of weakness to be vulnerable. As a matter of fact, it's a sign of strength. When God said it is not good for a man to be alone, He's not talking about marriage, He's talking about someone you can open your heart to, and the person will not see you lesser than who you are. As a matter of fact, being vulnerable to someone that is matured and know what the person is doing is going to see it as a privilege. Say thank you for trusting me with your vulnerability, with your struggles and all. Now, for children that are raised from a dysfunctional home, don't be proud not to seek counsel, not to get yourself into therapy. Listen to me. Whatever you've been through is sitting in your subconscious. You are not even sure. There was a case of a young lady. She came home from school one day and she saw her dad beat her mom. The man is a military man. There are a lot of people that have helped that they did not know that the effect of what is going on in their lives now, before marriage and during marriage, after the divorce, was because of what happened to them by being raised from a dysfunctional home or by parents that are not emotionally matured. Now, look at the way people that are having anger issue raise their kids. Everything is boast, anger, reaction. There's no dialogue, there's no communication. There is nothing like
everything is violence.
You are saying yourself, you are expressing yourself. You are not expressing yourself. Everything has to do with anger. So such a child will be defiant to constituted authority.
Yeah.
The child will not be able to communicate.
Yeah.
You would think if you want to tell your husband or your friend or your wife something, you have to come with body language or reaction or anger or say something that is just out of order. And the person is saying, sincerely, you are not saying anything. I'm not hearing you. What are you trying to say? So when a child is raised from either a monogamous home, you know your emotional needs are not met. Though your dad and your mom pretend they are in church, they are deacons and deaconesses, they wear the same uniform to church, they are preaching, you are easing, and they are like Romeo and Juliet outside in court.
But inside,
And inside, it's just like you are in a war zone.
Gaza and Israel.
Yes, you need to see a
A
therapist
therapist.
and a counselor. Now, from a monogamous home, I've said that.
Yes, polygamous.
Polygamous home is a Fuji house of commotion. There are PDP 1, PDP 2, two parties. As a matter of fact, if you are married and you don't deal with your baggages of coming from a polygamous home, you won't be able to communicate in your marriage. Let me give you an example. Some people are hearing me now. My husband doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what is going on. He has built not talking from childhood, from being raised from a polygamous home. Let me give you a practical example. Probably your son, the child raised from a polygamous home, has been believing God for visa. And finally woke up in the morning, 5 a.m. to the embassy, came back and the visa is given. And probably he met the mom with other mothers in the house, polygamous home, cooking. And she was saying, Mommy, the mother will say, shh, close your mouth, close your mouth. They will pull the child to the room to share the story.
To whisper the good news.
So when the child is married,
You carry
the
that.
natural thing is secret. Don't talk, don't trust, and don't feel. That is the nature of every child that is raised by parents that are dysfunctional, whether polygamy or monogamy. Now, being raised by single parents, definitely you know, a bird cannot fly with one hand.
Yes.
Every child needs proper parenting to be complete, to be total, to be a complete child. Now, the challenge I have in Africa is we don't talk about therapy, we don't talk about counseling, we just believe everything will be fine. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a banker, he's an engineer, he's a sound engineer, he's solid, he's okay, he's doing well in his profession, nothing. When the whole secret will come out is when another life is joined to that life. And you begin to notice this marriage is
dark
not working.
spots.
There's a problem, there's a dark spot, there's a problem. Then another thing is, I think I have to mention this. Some people develop a terrible personality disorder. That's why when you are even going to get married, if you are raised from a dysfunctional home, you naturally attract yourself to a man or a woman that is dysfunctional. I need to strike that chord in somebody's heart.
Yeah.
You gravitate, and I can show you scriptures from Genesis to Revelation.
You attract your likes.
Isaac was dysfunctional. Rebecca was superly dysfunctional. You want to get married. You wanted to get married that same day. They asked you, are you going? You said, I'm going now. The day of the wedding, it was your uncle that gave you out in marriage. Father is not there. The father is just a father figure. He wasn't there to give Rebecca out in marriage. Look at the marriage of Rebecca. So what you don't deal with, being raised from a dysfunctional system, you pass it down to generation and generation and other generation. We partake of the negative impact and effect of not dealing with your issues being raised from a dysfunctional home. Thank you for having me.